It's time for Money Matters. As business owners start to rebound from the pandemic setbacks they incurred, many are struggling to rebuild a full staff. Joining us now is Vander from Strategic Wealth Designers to discuss our current labor shortages. So Jason, we know some business owners are considering raising wages. What are some of the risks involved with that option?
Well, for any business to raise wages means they're essentially raising their cost structure, and whatever cost they can absorb ultimately have to be passed on to the consumer. And for larger chain stores and big businesses, that may not be a big issue. But for small businesses, it's incredibly risky because they just don't have that kind of pricing power, and people will ultimately take their business and go elsewhere.
Now, moving back to kind of the root of the issue here, what do you think is holding people back from returning to work?
Well, I mean, an obvious answer is the COVID-19 pandemic and the health risks, and people are concerned about that. But, data has shown us that about 57% of service workers in all states or in states that have recently ended federal unemployment benefits aren't returning. And they say that it's because tips are unreliable, the health risks are too great, and they just don't want to work for minimum wage anymore.
Well, we mentioned, of course, raising those wages, but the question is, how will business owners offset the cost of that?
Yeah, workers and supporters have often, they've been calling for a $15 an hour minimum wage for some time now. And unfortunately, the way that businesses will have to offset that is to pass those costs on to the consumer. There's just nowhere else for it to go.
Makes sense. All right, Jason, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
For more tips to make your money matter, visit our website, WKYT.com. If there's something you'd like us to discuss, send your request to news@WKYT.com and we'll talk about it here.